today's video, we're going to be getting it started installing the mini split system. I'm going to grab you off the stand. I'm going to kind of walk you around and talk to you, show you what we got to do. Hopefully it shouldn't be too hard. It says it's a one-person job, so we'll find out. So coming in the camper, I've already got my indoor unit. All my lines right there. Right here though, I did pick me up a piece of 3/4 inch plywood. I'd like to thank Exploring the Outdoors. They made a pretty good video. So what we're going to do here is I got those two lines marked on the wall. That's where the two studs are. I'm going to have to cut me a piece of plywood as a backer. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it out, wrap it in carpet. He done that on his video. Seems like it's working out well for him, so I'm gonna use it too. Did pick up enough to carpet the top bunk too. We're gonna use it for storage. But I'll pretty much my indoor unit will sit right here. Lines will run back to the corner, drop down through, and run out the back of the camper to the outside unit. Sounds easy enough. Well, let's go ahead here and get started. Alright, so I've already got my lug nuts loosened up here on this spare tire. Go ahead and take them off. Make sure to put everything back where we don't lose it. Alright, so I don't know what they got going on here. This is previous owner's work here. Whether it be a flagpole holder or looks like your antenna, like if you have an antenna, because it's mounted on a hinge over here. But anyways, I'll go get me a socket to take these off right here. We'll just loosen them up for right now, and then hopefully we can just slide this stuff over without too much headache. So that's what they've ended up doing. This is like a raise up support for an antenna tube or flagpole, whatever. Ended up having to cut this U-bolt that was holding it up here because it was well, it's just a little too corroded. But I'm gonna go ahead and take it off back here. There you go. Alrighty. That should just slide out now. There we go. Alright, now I got my big impact. We'll try to get these off. Alright. Alright, that's got that. I got one more little bolt here I've got to take out. Hopefully it comes out pretty easy. Now it's a It's a little too wet to paint this. I'm gonna go ahead and clean it up and get everything ready to paint. Then I'll get my unistrut together. But we'll clean this up right fast and come back with you. Alright, so we got the area we're going to be working in kind of cleaned up. Show you some of the stuff we got, how we're going to actually mount the rear unit. I got my 4-inch U-bolts. They may be a little long. I might have to cut some off. I might not. Don't know yet. I got my spring clips. They'll just simply slide in my unistrut. And I got 2 5-foot pieces of unistrut. They come 10 foot long. I just had the guys at the shop where I got it at cut it down for me. Make it a little bit easier to haul. Like I said, I got the spring clips. I got the bolts and the washers to actually go through the mounting brackets on the outdoor unit. But first thing is I'm gonna have to get it set up there after we get the unistrut on it, and see where it's actually gonna sit at on the unistrut, because I'll have to cut probably 2 or 3 foot off of the unistrut. But we'll get you set up over here and get started on it. Okay, so change of plans. The U-bolts ain't gonna work out too well with the unistrut, so I went and picked me up some of these 7-inch bolts. Sorry about the notifications on my phone. Picked these 7-inch bolts up with just some washers. They're 1/2-inch bolts, so they'll hold just fine. I did pick up some lock nuts for it while I was there. And then I'll take you down off the stand here in a minute and show you what's going on. How I'm going to do this as soon as I get this other bolt started. Alright. Well, you can kind of see it right here. I've got my 2 bolts running down, and I've cut me about a 7-inch piece of unistrut going underneath the bottom, and I'm just going to use that as a clamp, and that's about the easiest way I figured to get this to work. Need a deep well anyway. I've got to run and get me a deep well 3/4. I'll be right back. Alright, we'll make sure it's straight. So the easiest way to make sure it's straight is just get your speed square. And I just hold it up there against there like that. That way when I'm tightening it down, I know where it's straight at. Alright, there's one down. Now I'll go get my measurement off my mini split for where my brackets line up at. That way I can get it halfway decently close over here. and I'll make sure before we do anything, I'll bring the actual mini split out here, set it down, make my marks where I need to cut my unistrut off at, and make sure I'm clearing my brake light and stuff, because we'll have to bore about a 2-inch hole right here in the wall. But I'm going to do this other one right fast, and we'll come back with you. Alright, so we got both of them installed, and I got them measured pretty close to where the feet are going to sit for the outside unit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick it up, and you need to leave a little bit of an air gap. You can't just put it right up against this. So I'm probably going to have it somewhere right around in here. That way it's got enough airflow to pull in air and stuff through the coils. But I'm going to pick it up, and I'm sorry if I get breathing hard. I'm still fighting that head cold I had. I'm not gonna let it get me though. We're gonna continue on. So that looks pretty good. And it ain't gonna bounce too much there once we get it bolted down. But the first thing we got to do is we got to cut off the excess unistrut. So I'm gonna just take my angle grinder and I'm gonna cut it off. I am gonna move the mini split. I'll go get my marker and mark it, and we're gonna cut it off. I'm gonna set the mini split aside right now. After I get it cut off, I'm gonna go ahead and paint it right fast. So when you come back, it'll be black. So I've already got my board cut, and I've done sprayed my spray adhesive on it. We're still waiting on that unistrut to dry up there. That way we can get it mounted. Well, get the unit mounted. All I did is used a little bit of contact adhesive. I'm not a professional at this, but all I'm going to do is I'm going to stick the carpet to it. It may work. Then I'm going to slide the board to me, and we're going to turn it over. There we go. Now all I'm going to do is just probably trim some of this excess right fast. Get my stapler. And now we're going to time lapse. Now we'll get my air stapler on it, straighten up some of these corners. That's ready to mount on the wall. So I'm gonna check my rack, see if it's dry yet. If it ain't, we'll go inside and mount this. If it is, we'll probably continue on out here. Alright, I'm hoping I've cut the board short enough, even with the carpet and stuff on it. I got this board laying right here. I want it to sit up on this board, then I'll pull the board out from under it. That way when I go to lay this carpet down in here, I got plenty of room to get it in and out. So we had our 2 lines marked on the wall. Well, I made some marks on the ceiling and marks on the bunk right here. That way, when I get it up in there, I know where my studs are. So we're going to pick this thing up and see if we can't get it up on top of that board. If not, we'll have to go to plan B. That board's just a little too thick. But what probably ain't. Let's check out my phone case there. Don't try this at home, kids. Alright. Phone case seems to be adequate to hold it up there. So I'll get me a couple screws started in the bottom. And I've got 2-inch screws, so I'm not going to sink them too deep. And just like that. Let's see if we can't go up top and get one. Alright. So that worked out good. I can still get my carpet under there. even though I had to use my phone. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So this is mounted up here good. It's not going to pull off the wall because it is mounted in the studs of the camper. Now when we put our plate right here, up here, however it needs to go, wherever, I'll have to center it up and level it up and stuff. See where exactly it needs to go. This plate will be able to mount into this 3/4 inch board instead of just flimsy plywood. Alright, so I'm going to get making my measurements on this. I got to read some on this to see where exactly it's going to go. And we'll go from there. Alright, so my camera went out of focus on me. I lost the video I had there. You couldn't see nothing. But I've got the inside bracket mounted. It's actually, I dropped it about 8 inches down from the roof there, and it needed 6 inches clearance above the top of the unit, so I dropped it about 8 inches down. That'll give me about 6 inches clearance up here. So now our paint's dry enough out here we can work with it. Still a little tacky, but we're gonna roll with that. I'm gonna set the unit up here. I'm gonna use my white paint marker, and I'm gonna make me some marks where the feet are, and then I'll probably get my Sharpie right here, and I'll make me a mark where I gotta go in with my hole for my line set and my electrical and all that jazz. But we'll get the unit and we'll set it on top of here, and we'll make our marks for where our bolts are gonna go. I'll go grab my tape measure. Not that it has to be exactly perfect, but we just want it close. So about 7 inches on this side. So it needs to be tweaked this way just a little bit. Not much. The whole thing has to go over. There we go. Alright, so we're pretty much good right there. 7 inches. 7 inches. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'll make me a mark, just a little one, on the insides of these where my bolt's going to go at. So now we're going to make our mark for our line set, and you want to follow the directions of your lines. So that's about the angle I'm wanting right there. So I'm going to make me a mark right here. That's close enough. And all I was using there was just a piece of metal dowel rod that I had left over. Just something to get me a straight shot. And then when we Well, I'll show you when we drill right here. But we're going to take this off and get ready to drill our hole right here. Three, two, one. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my hole. Went in at the angle on my hole saw. I'm going to go in the angle kind of that my pipes are going to go in. And I'll probably run my hole saw backwards, see if it cuts like that. If not, I've got tape on here. And you don't have to worry about none of this stuff. We're going to seal this hole really, really well. Now I'm going to go in from the inside of my little storage compartment and make my hole coming the other way. So I just took my tape off. We've got our hole drilled or cut, however you want to look at it. See if you can see this right here. I've already got our spring nuts in there, so I don't see a problem with going ahead and mounting the outside unit. Go ahead and getting it bolt down. So we'll do it right fast, then we'll go in and get our lines set together and start running the lines inside. Alright, I've got the unit put back up there. We'll go ahead and get our bolts started in. Go ahead and mount it down. We've got our holes drilled. And I'm just going to hand tighten them all first. So we'll time lapse this part of it. Make sure I got everything lined up good. Alright, they're all hand tightened. I'm just going to take my 9/16 inch wrench and I want to torque them down a little bit. Alright, that's not going nowhere. I mean, pretty secure. I trust it going down the road. It's actually more secure than one of those the hitch carrier things. I got one of them too, and this is more solid than that. So that's not going nowhere, and there's not a lot of flex to it, which I like that because of my lines and stuff. So we're actually going to pause this for just a second. We'll get our line set put together, get it ready to go in the inside the camper. Alright, so I got my line set hooked up, got it vacuumed out, had to go get an adapter for that. It was kind of an ordeal. I've just got this plug on the end temporary here. We're going to plug it into my big extension cord I got just to check it out. Walking inside the camper, I got everything mounted up. As you can see, I got the, there's the actual unit. I'll get you a picture that way it stays in focus. And then I've just got my lines draped up next to the top of the storage compartment there. I've still got to get my boards and stuff in. But we're going to turn this unit on and see what it does. It's a little cool outside, so I'll run out here and plug it in. And then when I come back, we'll turn it on, and I'll just probably shut the door and turn on the heat. So I'll run out here and plug it up right fast. Alright, we've got it plugged up. And then here's the remote. See if I can get you a good focus picture of it. But we'll go ahead and turn it on. I'll put pictures of everything in here. So we're just going to hit the on button. And it's set. That's temperature mode. Mode set to heat. It'll probably take it a second to start up. The back unit's already kicked on though, so while it's kicked on, we'll walk out here and I'll show you actually how loud it is. So I'll take my mic off here. And I don't have a decibel meter or anything like that, but it is not loud at all. I mean, you hear the dogs barking next door louder over top of this thing. So the outside unit's really, really quiet. Way quiet than the factory rooftop was. And as you can see, oh, it's already blowing. Let's shut this door. Yeah, it's already blowing. Huh. Oh yeah, and it's already warming up. Sorry about my dead cat microphone cover there. Trying to get y'all kind of something to show the sound. You can't hear it running. Well, you can, but it's not. You can, but it's not that loud. All right, so here's the indoor unit. It's running at full speed. I've got it set in You can see it says turbo mode there. So I got it set on turbo mode. Fans on high. Heat set at 70. And it's been on for like 3 or 4 minutes, and it's already putting out heat, and it's getting warmer in the camper. So I call that a win. It's probably about 40 degrees outside right now, maybe 45. But yeah, so there it is. So that's going to wrap up this video on installing this mini split. And like I said, there's a few things you're going to need. That's a set of vacuum gauges and a vacuum pump. And make sure you get the 5/16 to 1/4 inch adapter. That way you can vacuum your line set out. I'll leave links to everything in the description so you can see what you need. Or if you've got friends you can borrow it from, or you might want to call a professional or whatever, you know, that's always recommended too. But not too hard of a job. Showed you the inside unit, showed you the outside unit. It's just kicked off a minute ago, so it's not running now, but you can still hold a conversation around both units. You can't hardly hear them. Well, it's kicking on right now as we speak. So with that, we thank y'all for watching. If you got any questions, just post them there in the comment section, and I'll see if I can answer them for you. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you camping.